Hi, welcome to Hidden Gems, Jewels with Jude. Thank you so much for being here. And let's continue the conversation on sugar. In the first video I spoke about, or the first podcast, I spoke about triggers, the different triggers, reasons why we get triggered to have sugar. Today, let's talk about tips to manage and reduce sugar cravings. I'll give you several of them. So we'll start with balancing your blood sugar, right? So number one is to eat regularly. Many people skip meals and then snack and then get the cravings for sugar. And so by eating regularly, and regularly, what's regular for you. Um, so you're not to the point where you're so hungry that you get these cravings and you go for the sugar treat. Okay. And then also to balance your blood sugar is to eat protein and healthy fats. I've been trying to eat more protein myself. I love my veggies. I love my beans and so forth, which is protein, though trying to up it a little bit. I do eat some fish, so I've been focusing on that. And when I do feel a little hungry, to have eggs or some kind of protein, chickpeas, something that will sustain me more. And so increasing your protein or your healthy fats, which is avocados and nuts, are some examples of that, and that will stabilize your blood sugar. And then third suggestion would be to choose complex carbs like whole grains, beans, legumes, vegetables over refined carbs. So that will sustain your energy and you're not looking for a quick fix, as sugar does. Second point or second tip is to stay hydrated. Highly talked about. I could do a video on this or a podcast on this as well, and I will, but stay hydrated. A lot of times, and you probably heard this before, when we get this urge to eat or we feel hungry, what we're really craving is hydration, that we're actually thirsty. So drinking water, I suggest putting something in your water, whether it's lemon, herbs, some kind of electrolyte, some sea salt, some other things. I use some things myself, and that has increased my hydration. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. The third tip to help manage your sugar consumption or sugar cravings would be to manage stress. Stress is another one that some people crave or reach for sugar when they're stressed, others don't. I'm one that doesn't, but many people do, right? It's a comfort. Maybe I'll take that back a little bit. One thing I know I do crave when or desire when I'm feeling stressed or unsettled, I'll put it, is ice cream. It's my comfort food. So to manage stress, practice relaxation techniques, some breathing techniques. Yoga is always good, especially restorative yoga. I'll probably post some videos about that. And exercising regularly, which also helps to manage stress. It's a good way to release stress being held in our body and also helps to relax the mind and not turn to sugar for comfort. The next one is ensuring that you don't have any nutritional deficiencies. I'm not a doctor, but just notice what you're craving. If you're maybe dark chocolate, you may indicate that you have low magnesium. This is information that I've learned, not that I am, like I said, a doctor. So adding magnesium-rich foods like nuts and seeds, leafy greens, and whole grains. So add supplements when needed, but be very careful of what supplements you use because a lot of supplements just go through the body and not absorb. And there's a whole science behind what supplements to take and with what, whether with food or not food, no food, and when to take it and so forth. So maybe speak to a healthcare provider about that. The fifth tip, I believe, is to get enough sleep. Sleep is so, so key for so many reasons, but it helps regulate our hunger hormones, right? If we get a peaceful 7 to 9 hours is the recommendation. I think it varies for person to person and from night to night, right? Based on activity, not to fluctuate when you go to sleep. It's better to have a routine of sleeping, but that can also reduce your sugar cravings so you're not tired and go for that energy rush, right? Which sugar gives us. And then some suggestions for sweet alternatives. Fruits are really good. Right? I know they have sugar in it, but it's a natural sugar, berries, apples, oranges. I usually, we use sheep milk yogurt here. I get it from the local farm, so it's really good. But if you buy it in the store, buy unsweetened yogurt, and then you can sweeten it, whether with maple syrup or dried fruit like raisins, figs, dates, and that will add a sweetener, but it's not the white processed sugar. Dark chocolate is a very good sweet craving to have. Make sure that it's high in cacao. Recommended 70% high cacao or higher, and that will help to satisfy your cravings with less sugar. And then, of course, making your own homemade treats is always beneficial because you know what you put in it and how much you put in it. Like I make granola regularly instead of buying it in the store. I try not to buy it in the store. I don't like to buy it in the store. Because I like the way I make it, but sometimes if we run out and I, for some reason, don't make it, and my husband loves to have it, so we buy certain brands, but also look at the ingredients. But when I make it, I know what I put into it, and it's rolled oats. I use maple syrup, and I monitor how much maple syrup I put. I put nuts, I put coconut flakes. So it's all organic and I know exactly what's in it. Many of you probably have that recipe. And so making homemade treats, even if you make cookies or date rolls, you know exactly what's in it. You know how much sweetener you put in it. And then I'm going to give you a few more. I have a list here that I'm looking at. The seventh, actually, seventh, is to distract yourself. So when there's that sugar craving, right, maybe picking up the phone or talking with someone, or getting outside and taking a walk, or picking up a book and start reading the book, so that you shift your focus and not just focus on, I want that cookie, I want that cookie, I want another cookie, I want another cookie, and so forth. So it's shifting your focus. And then notice if you can wait it out. Right? Notice if you get a craving, even set a timer. We all have phones, set a timer on your phone, wait 10, 15 minutes and see if that craving is still there. Hydrate, drink something, right, that may say, oh, I'm not really craving that sweet. I just needed something to drink. So distracting yourself. And then going back to the triggers, number 8, be mindful of your triggers. Is it habit? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Um, is it from marketing? You know, any of those things. And you can go back to the first podcast I did about or video I did about sugar and the triggers, and it gives you more information of what may trigger you. Number 9 is don't deprive yourself. I mentioned this in the first video too. Never say never. I'll never have sugar again. Some people do. I like to practice moderation, so allowing small portions. And if you're trying to get off sugar, if you have it every night, start skipping a night or reducing how much you have and slowly reduce it so that it is in moderation and it is a treat when you do have it. I remember years ago, this is a long time ago, I would eat the Andes candies mints after dinner. And I realized it was a habit, but after dinner I would crave that, crave in quotes, and I would have one, and then I would have another, and then I would have another, and I slowly, when I became more aware of what I was putting in my body and what I wanted to put in my body, I started cutting that out. And so my awareness is another key, and then moderation, right? And then the 80-20 rule, you might have heard of this, eating 80%, 80% healthy, 20% with a little bit of treats. I know for me, I'll have a treat certain times for holidays, or if I really am in the mood for it. And there's certain treats I really like. I've mentioned it before, like ice cream, sorbets, certain chocolate torts or something like that. But not every meal, not every time we go out. I don't make a lot of treats here. Ed, my husband, really likes treats, so if it's here, he'll eat them. So I don't make them often, every once in a while. And then the 10th and the final for now is to build new habits, right? So by me, what I was mentioning about the Andes candies, right? So I was retraining my taste buds not to go for that candy right after I ate. One trick I did when I was working in the corporate world and there was lots of sweets around, and after I had breakfast or lunch, I would brush my teeth really quick, even because I brush my teeth in the morning, I brush at night, but just to freshen up my mouth. And then I wouldn't want to have a treat. So when you reduce the amount of sugar you're eating, you're retraining your taste buds, and you won't crave it as much. And then this is really, really important, is to celebrate your wins. Celebrate when you pass up on that sweet, by maybe buying yourself something, maybe something small, or going out for a walk, or buying a new top or a new pair of jeans, saving up for it for each celebration of passing up a sweet. Maybe you count up to 20 or 15, and then you buy something and treat yourself, or you treat yourself each time by going for a walk or taking a break from work, whatever it may be. So there are 10 ways to reduce your sugar and balance your sugar intake. Feel free to comment below if any of them resonated with you. Share this video with a friend or a neighbor, and subscribe to my channel for more hidden gems, jewels with Jude. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.